causes increase in wrinkle, decrease in OPG, increase in TNF alpha, increase in IL-1, IL-6. So net effect will be accelerated osteoclastic activity, and most rapid bone loss occurs in first 3 to 5 years post-menopause. Trabecular bone affected earlier than the cortical bones. So this explains why early vertebral fractures are risk is more and after the menopause. So this is the picture. The wrinkle upon OPG ratio is changed. So when wrinkle is more than most osteoclastic activity, leading to the osteoblast, it means the osteoblastic activity. So there is low bone mineralization. What happens at the heart, cardiovascular level? Because of the endocrine shift, estrogen normally enhances the nitric oxide. So that is causes the dilatation of the vessels. When there is postmenopause, then there will be increase in the LDL, decrease HDL, vascular stiffness, insulin resistance. The cardiometabolic shift begins early, even before clinical events. Neurocognitive changes, estrogen modulates the serotonin pathway, dopaminergic tone, cholinergic transmission. Decline may contribute to mood instability, brain fog, sleep disturbances. However, menopause is not equivalent to cognitive decline. Context and aging overlap are there. What happens at the genitourinary system? Urogenital epithelium is estrogen dependent, as we all know. So estrogen loss leads to thinning of the epithelium, loss of glycogen, increased vaginal pH. So microbiome alteration occurs, more infections, more UTI common at that stage. This produces the genitourinary syndrome of menopause, often underdiagnosed in Indian population. So menopause represents ovarian failure, pituitary hyperstimulation, hypothalamic recalibration, multi-system endocrine impact. It is a systemic biological transition affecting bone, brain, cardiovascular system, metabolism, and genitourinary tract. When to test these hormones? Usually we don't need to test the hormones. If age is more than 45, clinical cyst is the safest diagnostic anchor. Routine lab tests are not advised. We have to use these if this patient is having amenorrhea more than 12 months, or she is having irregular cycles, she is willing to, for the fertility issues are there, then we have to test for these tests. And avoid serial tracking of E2 upon FSH to prove menopause, because variability is expected in the transition. Investigate atypical presentation, that is, if patient is heavy bleeding, systemic symptoms, or non-menopausal causes. Consider medication effect, contraceptive endocrine therapies that makes bleeding pattern and lapse. Recent advances, NK3 antagonism, that is fezolinetant. It is the newer drug which is been found out to treat the vasomotor systems. It acts on the NK3, NK3, this receptor that acts on the hypothalamus, that is arcuate nucleus of the hypothalamus. It blocks its activity, because after the menopause, this nucleus becomes hypertrophied, and there are more secretion of DNRH alteration, and so that leads to these hot flashes. AMH-based models improve population forecasting of menopause timing, but individual prediction remains limited. Updated care framework emphasizes symptoms burden, comorbidity risk over lab-driven lab labeling. GSM research increasingly integrates microbiome and local inflammatory pathway with estrogen deficiency. Menopause is increasingly framed as a neuroendocrine transition affecting thermoregulation and sleep circuits. So in India, where osteoporosis, vitamin deficiency, and delayed health-seeking behavior are common, early menopausal ovulation becomes more critical. This position we as a scientifically aligned globally, contextually, and responsible locally. Menopause is not merely the end of reproductive function, it is an endocrine milestone that determines the next 3 decades of a woman's life. If we understand the hormonal milieu deeply, we move from managing symptoms to shaping healthy longevity. Let us lead this change scientifically, ethically, and proactively. So if this is the usually case, the 52 years old woman or pressure, disturbances, fragility factors, this happens so commonly in our country. So this patient is not merely symptomatic. She represents thousands of Indian women transitioning silently. There is elevated FSH, low estradiol, osteopenia, osteoporosis risk. Rational MST decisions should be taken, and it is our responsibility to extend beyond symptoms relief. It includes fracture prevention and cardiometabolic protection. That we should use the therapeutic window. The early postmenopausal phase is not a decline, it is a therapeutic window. Timing, hypothesis, individualized risk stratification should be done, and we should always take this therapeutic window. That is, and if patient is having the POI or early menopause, it is our responsibility to prescribe her MST. So menopause is not the end of a reproductive function, it is an endocrine milestone that determines the next 3 decades. So should I take I think if any question we can take. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, madam. It was a crisp presentation, and you told us some points on the recent advances that is happening in the milieu of a menopausal woman, and also about some case presentations. That was nice, and the therapeutic window, that was an important point to take.
Yes,
home.
that is why we should understand the this hormonal milieu at the time of menopause. That is
Thank you,
important,
madam.
yes.
Thank you.
I think it is very necessary to know the transition change in the hormonal milieu to make a path for treatment prescription. Congratulations for a very nice talk on a basic topic.
So these are some questions. Simply, is it the only simply estrogen deficiency? No, it is not the ovarian follicular depletion leading to loss of inhibin B, compensatory FSH, estradiol variability before decline. Because so many patients come as a case of DUB, we are unable to understand why the cycles are short, why there is scanty bleeding. So it is important to recognize at that time what is happening to that patient.
Thank you,
We
madam.
should know that maximum bone loss is within the first 3 to 5 years. So we should be more, we should take more interest in prescribing these MST. We should not be in, हमें डरना नहीं है कि हमें ये करने से कुछ हो जाएगा patient. We have to individualize the patient, and we should take the proper history, and if patient is eligible, we should prescribe it.
Thank you, madam. It was a very nice presentation.